Vete nimishay rakshay tamano druta chetasa vikshanta sneha sambadha vichalis tatra tatra sarve te nimishay rakshay tamano druta chetasa vikshantah sneha sambadha vichalis tatra tatra sarve te nimishe rakshay tamano druta chetasa vikshantah sneha sambadha vichalis tatra tatra sarve vikshantah sneha sambadha vichalis tatra tatra sarve te nimishe rakshe tamano druta chetasa vikshantah sneha sambadha sarve te nimishe akshay tamano druta chetasa vikshanta sneha sambadha vichalis tatra tatra. Word to word meaning. Sarve, all, te, they, animishahe, without twinkling of the eyes, akshahe, by the eye, tam anu, after him, dhruta chetasa, melted heart, vikshantaha, looking upon him, sneha sambadha, bound by pure affection, vicheluhu, began to move, tatra tatra, here and there, ha, so they did. Translation and purport by Divine Gadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. All their hearts were melting for him on the pot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking their eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. Please repeat the translation. All their hearts were melting for him on the pot of attraction. Whose hearts were melting? The residents of Dwaraka. They looked at him without blinking their eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport. Krishna is naturally attractive for all living beings because he is the chief eternal among the eternals. He alone is the maintainer of many eternals. This is stated in the Katha Upanishad Veda, and thus one can obtain permanent peace and prosperity by revival of one's eternal relation with him. Now forgotten under the spell of Maya or the illusory energy of the Lord. Once this relation is slightly revived, the conditioned soul at once becomes freed from the illusion of mental energy and becomes mad after the association of Krishna, mad after the association of the Lord. This association is made possible not only in the personal contact with the Lord, but also by association of His name, fame, form, and quality. And Srimad Bhagavatam trains the conditioned soul to this stage of perfection by submissive hearing from the pure devotee. Thus in the Bhakti Vedanta purport, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shashkurun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangulangayati giri yat kripatamande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. So in this chapter we have been reading, Lord is on the way to Dwaraka, departing of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka. In fact, in the 8th chapter also, 2 chapters before, we saw Kunti Maharani's offering wonderful prayers. Krishna was about to depart, so she is pleadingly offering wonderful prayers, glorifying Krishna. So in the last chapter, 9th chapter, so Lord agreed in those one of the verses also it said, why Lord? Lord will permanently reside with us if we try to become conscious of Him. And in the last chapter, 9th chapter, we saw Bhishma's leaving his body, correct? So Bhishma had the desire, Ichha Mrityu. He will not die unless he desires to die. So it was by the arrangement of Lord, Krishna personally was there, and all the Pandavas headed by Yudhishthira were there, so that Bhishma Deva was giving wonderful instruction to the Pandavas. And here in this chapter, Krishna is about to lead to Dwaraka, and we see the consciousness of the devotees of Dwaraka, we see the devotees of Krishna, how they are afflicted going to be separated from Lord Krishna. So just to recap few words, in fact in the 3rd or 4th verse it is mentioned that the Yudhishthira Maharaj was enlightened by Bhishma, Krishna, and he ruled this planet Earth so nicely because they were all Raja Rishi, they were all saintly, they were a king, but they were all godly, saintly king, Raja Rishi. And everything was in abundance. Even the weather, there were no disease. Everything was at the peak, at the maximum. There was no shortage of anything. Like it is mentioned that when the cows used to wander in the pasturing ground, they used to walk around the grasses. A lot of milk used to fall from the udder. So, Prabhupada in those purport also he writes, actually when we try to become Krishna conscious, God conscious, automatically all the opulence will come about. So this was demonstrated during the reign of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Not only Yudhishthira Maharaj, all the saintly kings in the Vedic times. So And then it is mentioned there was no enemy, all the living entities, um, no one was living being not disturbed by anxieties, diseases, death. Everything was so natural. Because, again, the same thing is, if we are Krishna's and if we lead a life based on Krishna-centric life, then everything will fall in place. Prabhupada also mentions in the lecture, just like during the Ramachandra's time also, there was one Brahmana who was staunch devotee of Lord Rama. So this king, when Lord, actually they are not part of any Varna or Ashrama, but they also come, they enact this pastime. So to teach the people in general, Edyad acharati seshta tattad evetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokat tad anuvartate. Krishna says in the 3rd chapter, if you read those verses, even next verse, Krishna quotes the example of Janak Maharaj. So whatever a great man does, common man follow. So Krishna, Rama, when they appeared, they also performed these pastimes. They were also like ordinary human being. That's why generally people will misunderstand Krishna, Rama, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because they are also come in the human form. They are looking like an ordinary person. They have 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 legs. So we are also having all these things. But actually these are all transcendental. Krishna says that also in the Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tektva devam punarjanma naititi mam swarjuna. Just by knowing Krishna's, Rama's, Lord's incarnate, just by knowing Krishna's activities, Janma karma, Krishna's birth, we will be celebrating Janmashtami in maybe 1.5 months. So Krishna's birth, Krishna's activities, Lord, His appearance, His activities, they are all divyam, they are all transcendental. Though it looks like an ordinary person. That's why yesterday we heard also, Krishna again quotes in the 9th chapter, he says, Avajananti mahamuda manushintanam ashtam. So like that we should understand. So during the reign of Lord Ramachandra, there was one staunch devotee of Lord Rama. His daily sadhana was, he has to see Lord Rama, then only he will even drink water. So it so happened Lord Ramachandra went on tour, just like even in the Arabic kingdom also, in the Middle East, where I came in touch with Krishna consciousness. There also king, today also you see, they go just see how their subjects are there. So not like president or prime minister, they sit in the safety chamber. They are just not concerned about the citizen. It's not like that, particularly in the Vedic times. So Lord Ramachandra went out to see how its citizens are faring. Particularly, they are concerned more with the spiritual well-being. If you take care of a spiritual well-being, automatically everything will, material thing will fall in place. We have to endeavor, we have to work, but everything will fall in place. Today, these people don't have this idea. So then Lakshmana comes and tells, almost 2 weeks away, Lord Ramachandra was there. So this devotee was fasting actually. Didn't even take water. So when Lord Rama came back, returned after his tour, he was told, then he was very glad to know this devotee's tapasya, his sadhana. The sadhana bhakti we are all doing, correct? So Prabhupada has given a simple sadhana for process for us. So if we follow this, actually Lord will be pleased. So then he said, okay, he told Lakshmana, he gave it his own deity actually, of Lord Ramachandra. So give it to Brahmana. Whenever I am not there, actually he can pay obeisances and he can continue his day-to-day activity. So in that context also Prabhupada writes about the glories of the deities. Lord And Lord's deity form is non-different. It's absolute. Prabhupada comes to that purport also. He mentions further in today's verse also. Prabhupada, in previous verse also, he has mentioned this. So he takes this opportunity. So, like that, and he achieved, that Brahmana achieved perfection there. So, then the next verse it is mentioned, the previous verse in this chapter only. Krishna resided in Hastinapura to pacify his relatives. And particularly he is telling, pacifying Subhadra. Subhadra, Krishna's own sister. So, she lost her son, Abhimanyu. We heard that also. So, Lord stayed there. So, when Lord was about to leave, we saw in the previous verses how the devotees, they fainted. Because they can't just be without Krishna. That separation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching also, his philosophy also, more than meeting Krishna face to face, actually this devotion by separation, Vipralamba Seva, is very glorious actually. Because generally we see, we are all in the temple, we are in touch, we come, see that, okay, fine. The moment we step out, we have forgotten actually. Because of the power of illusory energy, Prabhupada says in this purport. So like that, in this, and today's verse it is mentioned, all their hearts were melting for him on the pot of attraction. They were all so attracted to Krishna. It was a natural attraction actually. That's a spontaneous devotional service. Whereas in our case, we don't have that much attraction. We have little attraction. We have attraction for so many other material things also. So that's why the sadhana process is a disease, is like in our disease condition. In our disease condition, if we take to the process of sadhana bhakti, slowly our disease will get cured actually. So Prabhupada has given a nice program for all of us from morning, Mangalarti, then chanting, then Darshanarti, then try to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, understand. So that way we should mold our life, Prabhupada says, in such a fashion, in such a way that daily we should spend, of course, like we heard also, there's no, it's a compulsory for us to chant 16 rounds. We have to do that once we are initiated. Apart from that also some reading. If you are not able to come to temple, we should do simple puja, deity worship at home. Even you can worship picture of Krishna. It's not different. So that way we will be in touch with the Lord from the morning hours actually. So Prabhupada says here, they looked at him with blinking their eyes and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. So they are waiting, just like we will read further, nice descriptions are given actually. They are seeing again and again Lord, correct? In Dwaraka, in Vrindavan, you see, Lord comes out, gets up in the morning, just like an ordinary person. In Dwaraka, it is mentioned in the Krishna book, just like we get up before Mangalarti, it's recommended for us to get up. Krishna also used to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, Prabhupada writes. And not to the liking of all these queens. So Krishna again, he wanted to teach by his own example. So they were all so attracted, so attached to Krishna, to the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada begins the purport. Krishna is naturally attractive for all living beings because he is the chief eternal among the eternals. He alone is the maintainer of many eternals. So he is very attractive, not only to the human being. Prabhupada explains, even to the cows, calves, grass in Vrindavan, they are very attached. Grass is waiting when Krishna will come and trample on me, step on me. So they are all serving Lord in different rasa. So they are all so attached to Krishna. So the morning when Krishna leaves, when he was a young boy, he used to take the cows, and the elder Gopas used to take the cows. They used to go on a grazing field, so all these